the money in the bank. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the. Hit you with the bank. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Bang to the break. Bang to the break. Bang to the break. Bang, 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 bang. I'm a boss, yeah, you know that I'm finna shine. Got the money in the bank.
Hi guys, and welcome to day number 2 of the VCT Game Changers APAC Series Open number 3. I'm your host once again, Jenny Rairichu Lee, and with me on the desk again today is, of course, Daniel Kolden Chi. And we had a pretty exciting first day for the Open 3 playoffs yesterday. What are your thoughts about that, Kolden?
Oh, we had a couple of really interesting games. I think our stream, episode 2, the better stream, like we had a couple of really intense games, and it really went the distance for a couple of them. But you know, we're here on day number 2. We're here to see how things will pan out first and foremost in the upper brackets, and then we'll take a little gander down in the low brackets later on in the day.
Yep, of course, not to forget the path that all of these teams have taken to get to this point. Once again on the screens, guys, it's the roadmap that we've had for the previous 2 opens till here, and of course until the end of the year. We are in stage 1 open, where each open has a prize pool of 10,000 US dollars, and the point of the 3 opens is to qualify 6 teams into Elite, happening later in the year. And then in between, we do have a last chance qualifier for stage 2, once again with that sweet $10,000 prize pool, where we will qualify the final 2 teams that make it to Elite. So Elite is going to be happening in October later in the year with that $35,000 prize pool, and a total of 8 teams will qualify. So if you've been following the circuit for the last couple of years, I think last year we also did have the LCQ, but it was like overtime, I think it was called last year. So it's pretty similar to the last couple of years. But for this Open 3, we did start with a total of 58 teams from the Swiss qualifying group stage. And this time around, it is going to be kind of like 6 or so mainstay teams that you'll be used to seeing, and 2 new teams with Anomaly No Charms, as well as Deviant Topaz Topaz this time around, being more of that rookie teams, taking the place of a couple of some other newer names that we used to see. But I mean, 3 of these teams have already qualified, right, to Elite. So a couple of the other teams, I think, are really hoping to use Open 3 to punch those last tickets.
Yeah, so we're gonna see how things will pan out here today. We have 2 very interesting matches. But yeah, all of these players, all of these teams vying for this amazing prize pool USD of $10,000. And the first place getting 3,500, 2,500 for second, 1,500 for third, 1,000 for fourth, 500 for fifth and sixth, and 250 for the seventh to the eighth. So these 2 teams that we're going to be witnessing here, very first and foremost, right, it's going to be RRQ up against Fullsense Sapphire. And both of these teams taking up wins yesterday, so they're ready and gearing up to, push themselves all the way into the upper bracket finals if they do take home a win today. But yeah, let's take a look at the brackets and how things have panned out yesterday. So we have Scythe as well as SMG facing off in the upper brackets as well. GEX, DV Topaz, OGX, as well as Scythe. Sorry, not Scythe. Anomaly will be in the lower brackets. So fighting for the tournament life, fighting for their Open 3 life. And we'll have to see how that concludes later on in the day. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Jenny, though, on how things have panned out?
We had kind of like a smoke show yesterday, right? Where we had 4 series and every series ended in that 2-0. I think the mainstream, like record breaking, I think they were done like before 9 p.m. Like the stream started at 5.
Yeah.
They played 2 best of 3s and they were done at like 8:50 or something. Absolutely wild. And like our stream also ended just a little bit after that because we did have that one overtime, like that 14-12 in the first best of 3 series. But I'm really excited. I think that usually like day 2, day 3 is kind of when we see, like after today, right, we're only going to have 6 out of the 8 teams left in the competition. And I think day 2, day 3 is when we really start to see like the upper tier of teams pull away from the maybe lower teams that make it through into the playoffs. So I think the games get a lot closer, they get a lot more exciting. We really expect to see more of those 3 map games. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, Fullsense Sapphire versus RRQ Kaguya to start things off. Like, what a series to open day number 2. Of course, Fullsense Sapphire already qualified through to Elite, and RRQ, just kind of struggling a bit, especially in that open number 2. So they're going to be kind of, I think, wanting to look for that redemption, look for that revenge coming into today. And then the later series, we will see GE Phoenix going up against Deviant Topaz. And for both of these 2 teams, since it is the lower bracket, it is going to be that elimination, and they both did just get 2-0'd yesterday. So again, it's going to be like redemption. It's going to be fighting for their last chance in this Open 3. So, I expect to see like just everything all on the line right here for today.
Yeah, and what an insane series we're going to be seeing on later on in the day between GE as well as Deviant Topaz. But I think we have a couple of insane players that are going to be lining up on your screens right now. We have Fullsense Sapphire ready to take the stage up against RRQ. Jenny, take it away.
Oh my god. I mean, these girls, once again, they never need any introduction. They're all, I mean, they're famous. Do I need to see more? It's gonna be Baby TZ, Ginny, the legend herself, Muffin, Marco, as well as Polly. We did have the interview with Marco yesterday. She's really like telling us all about the winner's mentality that really like she and the rest of the girls on this Fullsense Sapphire squad have. As we mentioned, they're already qualified to Elite. They 2-0'd Orangutan X yesterday. Fun fact, OGX is also qualified, and Fullsense also just 2-0'd them like it was nothing. Like they just woke up, ate breakfast, normal day in the office, and just really showing that this team is back.
Yeah, so what a stacked team that we're going to be witnessing here again today. But let's jump over to their opponents, RRQ Kaguya. Now, this squad is, they're no strangers to the scene as well, right? Similarly to how Fullsense Sapphire have been here for so long. So has RRQ. They've made a name for themselves. Nepsky, Iceberg, Ayumi, Aluka, as well as Bess, all playing like brilliantly, like lights out performance yesterday up against Anomaly, and now they have a chance to take down the titans that are Fullsense Sapphire. And speaking about this lineup, I think one of the most influential players is gotta be Ayumi, right? We gotta keep an eye out on her as the main duelist. Like, what is the type of room that she's gotta be making for her team? The kind of kills, the kind of entries, right? A lot of pressure on that single duelist, but she's been there, she's delivered before, and as well as Nepsky, I think she is another great player for the side of Kaguya. She's really found her role within the team. She's really finding the comfortability, and she's putting up great numbers as well. So I think those two players on the side of Kaguya, we got to keep an eye on them because they might be the needle movers to really push themselves into a win here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both of these teams, right? They qualified through into playoffs. I think both of them were 5-1. Fullsense Sapphire, their only loss was unfortunately their 1-2 versus SMG. RRQ, though, they're 5-1, but their only loss was to Fullsense Sapphire just a couple days ago. And plus, that was also a 2-0. So I think, just coming into today's match, RRQ Kaguya, they just have so much to prove. I know they had a very disappointing for them finish in Open 2 because they ended 3rd place in Open 1, but Open 2 though they did drop to that 5th and 6th to tie the spot, which we know for them was just they were hoping for something better. I think they're always hoping for at least 3rd and 4th. I mean, they're always hoping for 1st, but 5th and 6th I think was a bit of a disappointment, bit of a shock for all of us watching them. But we will get into map select very shortly. There it is. It's gonna be Lotus for map 1, Fracture for map 2, and if it does go the distance, we will see Bind for map 3. And Golden, I know you love these big maps. Talk us through it.
Yeah, and so RRQ as well as Fullsense, right? The classic bands, the perma bands have been Haven and Ascent. So those two, nothing out of the ordinary. Picking Lotus and Fracture, I think, is a great avenue for RRQ to stage a win, stage a chance for them to win into the series. Because if we look at the history, right, look at Fullsense Sapphire versus RRQ Kaguya, Fullsense Sapphire are 3-0 in series wins. So the 3 times that they faced each other since Open 2, all 3 times that they've met, Fullsense Sapphire has won 2-0. It's a clean win for Fullsense Sapphire multiple times. And I think RRQ needs to come up with something creative. And I think picking into Lotus and Fracture are 2 fantastic maps for you to showcase your creativity, right? Those 2 maps, so many options with your agents, so many options with your compositions and your strategies that you can employ. So I'm really, really excited to see what Kaguya have in store for us, because this, if it's any 2 maps for them to take home a win, it's got to be on the newest map, and as well as one of the maps that it's arguably one of the most dynamic, right? You have Fracture, where there are essentially 2 attacker spawns. So I'm excited to see what Kaguya have for us. And a little bit of a tidbit, right? Between these 2 teams, every single time that they faced each other, we've gone into overtime on at least one map. In every series that they've played together, they've gone into OT. I don't know what this speaks for today, but it's just a trend. Yeah, it is a pattern that we've been seeing, and I'm really, really curious to what RRQ have in store for us. And I think one of the win conditions that RRQ need to have against Fullsense Sapphire is to come out guns blazing with great strats and great creativity, because first time, yeah, whatever, we lose to Fullsense Sapphire, they're a great team. Second time, it hurts a little bit. Third time, still not the charm. Maybe the 4th, right? Maybe the 4th time is the chance for them to really establish themselves as one of those top teams in the division in GC APAC. So I'm excited. I really am excited.
Yeah, I mean, I never heard no one say 4th time's the charm, but who knows? Maybe we'll see that today. Maybe RQ is gonna be like, hold my tea. I'ma just show that to you real quick. What do you think about how Fullsense picked Lotus and then decided to start on defense? Also, interestingly, I think for all 3 maps, I noticed that the Fullsense are the ones who opted to start on defense for every single map. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so Fullsense Sapphire picked Lotus as the first map. I think that's a pretty interesting and daring map for Fullsense to pick.
Oh, yeah.
RRQ opted to start on the attack side though, and I think picking
Ah.
to start on the attacking side on a map that has 3 spike sites, I think that's a great strategy going forward, right? You have a lot of chances to really, dictate the pace of the match. You really can decide, like, do we want to rush towards A? Do we want to take things slow? Maybe push towards A, B, and C a little bit to see how the composition is going to work like. And there's a lot of room for the defenders to cover on a map such as Lotus, right? There's so many avenues. I think even as players, right, if you play Lotus in ranked as a defender, you're scurrying here left, right, and center, trying to figure out where are the gaps in your armor. So I think advantage going to be RQ's hand as they start onto the map of Lotus. As we jump into the agent select to see what they've been cooking up for us, what we have in store for our very first game of day number 2.
Oh, this is a lot
Wait.
more similar than I was expecting.
I expected, yeah, same.
Yeah, like where's the chamber, where's the gecko? I'm like, oh, okay. So it's gonna be Sky, Raze, Killjoy that are mirrored, and then Jet, Omen versus Omen as well. So it's just the Jet versus the Viper then, and then the core 4 are gonna remain the same. Wow. So double duelist from the side of RRQ Kaguya. I mean, this is absolutely what we wanted to see, right? We're like, we want them to come out guns blazing, show that confidence, just be like, oh, we lost to them 3 times in the past, so what? Today's a new day. We're gonna wake up, we're a different RRQ Kaguya today, and I think this is a great step forward.
I think I'm not tripping when I say that this is the first time we're going to be seeing this composition from Kaguya.
Yeah, I don't think we've
taking a
seen
little
Ayumi
look.
Jet with Aluka on Raze.
Yeah.
Like, we know that they can play that, like, individually, but I don't think we've seen them play this together.
I think it's just the change on the Cypher over to the Killjoy, if I'm not mistaken. That was the last time they played on the map of Lotus. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what these 2 teams have cooked for us. Double controller versus double duelists.
All right, I think we here at the desk, we gotta take a little bit of a breather, but guys, Hugh is prepped and all ready to bring you the action for that map number 1. Of course, it's going to be the talented, my personal favorite caster duo in APAC. Guys, we wore black and blue just for you two. Dax and Blue, over to you.
Hey, I enjoy the bias there from the panel. I'll take it. I need a bit of positivity in my life. But come on, I'm very positive here, Black and Blue, that this is another episode, another chapter to the never-ending saga of Sapphire versus Kaguya. Here we go yet again. The upper bracket is set, and it's RRQ versus Fullsense one more time.
I mean, it's a run it back of the run it back of the run it back, as Cole Dan talked about a while ago. 3-0 so far. Sapphire up in the series against each other historically since Open 2, and RRQ have yet to get the better of them. The last time around during the Swiss stage of this Open, specifically 2-0, and if you look at the maps that they played here on Fracture going for map number 2, it's curious that RRQ let that in, and specifically pick it. They might have something planned in store, but we're going to look at Lotus to start things off. New configurations in terms of composition for RRQ, especially.
Just small adjustment since RRQ Kaguya. We notice now that they're going for more of a 5-woman roster. We're not really seeing the substitutions anymore from Open number 2, and they swap over Nabsky from a Cypher to a Killjoy instead. They have been running Ayumi and Aluka though in the front line for quite a while, and for RRQ, there's just so much to really work on against Fullsense Sapphire especially. But we start off the action. Aggression here from Sapphire to get control of Rubble to begin with, and RRQ will have to wait by lobby to begin this fight.
Taking that Rubble away early on, especially in a half like this, it creates this sort of uncertainty for RRQ on the attacking side of how confident they can be in going for that A site execute in the first place. B though looking to be attempted. They do have an alarm bot, so should be fully aware of this Fullsense. You can see how much commitment they have into holding that right A side portion of the map.
Yeah, Fullsense, they do want to anticipate any aggression early on. Best setting up the Trailblazer, broken quickly by Margot. And it's now Muffin backing on away. Painchill Slob, Ayumi inside the Cloudburst, and Margot trying to find that bit of damage, but Ayumi's already there. stellar takedown to begin with. Margot gets one for her troubles, but RRQ, the numbers are here unrelenting, and they begin the siege of that A site. Slow down the pace though. They have the 4v2 advantage, and they can regroup accordingly towards Tree. Baby TZ, she was stellar yesterday against
30 seconds
Orangutana
left.
X. Can she anchor down these sites the same way? A one-way setup, and RRQ going for the plant.
Yeah, it just makes it impossible for Baby TZ to even attempt to peek out there. That's a great initial entry towards that rubble side, but here, all the way towards Tree, it only stands as Baby TZ goes down. Quick early round from RRQ, exactly the way they were expecting to start.
Yeah, they just timed it so well. As soon as they got that intel from the Trailblazer, Ayumi dashed in with the Cloudburst and honestly caught Margot in a pretty bad situation. Muffin isolated there while Margot was setting up the smokes, and the rest of RRQ would funnel on in from that point on. So, seems like for Kaguya, it hasn't been the best record against Fullsense Sapphire, but a good start at least here on the first map.
Well, they're looking to change that here right now. Set the record straight, right, and how things should be continuing in terms of where teams look at and who they're looking for. Fullsense so far. And on this defensive side, they had a great idea to try and push up early, as I talked about, but they just simply didn't have enough firepower, I guess, and obviously the player count to really hold on to that exact idea. The paranoia from Margot, different type of utility like that, just wasn't connecting the way that they potentially expected, and allows now RRQ to get this early kind of momentum in the half.
Yeah, Sapphire now knows RRQ coming the way of A, but yet again, slow down the pace, find the timing, get the intel first and foremost. Seems like there are a few objectives that RRQ tried to clear to begin with as, oh, okay. Haven't seen that happen on the map, but it's RRQ now. On site yet again, same kind of plan. Holding towards Tree, watches out the doorway also. Keep an eye out on Rubble, just because the lobby flank can happen.
They're making sure that they have some sort of presence there towards that Rubble, as you said. It's Baby TZ to be the sole flanker. Here comes the Brunton of the push on it as Baby TZ's caught out.
Yeah, two already here for RRQ. Fullsense coming up close, at least trying to get into a bit of distance. A bit of damage done towards Ayumi, but beyond that, it's RRQ yet again with a solid anti-eco to begin this set.
Yeah, making sure they don't get overrun. Obviously, the pick off there on the Baby TZ helped as well with keeping that front line just secured and in check. And if you're a team here like RRQ, you got some of these rifles, right? You got that Bulldog. You got everything else. Actually, never mind. They actually buy up. They do not want to play a bonus. They really want to be making sure they take no half measures.
I mean, look at their money. They do have a bunch of creds to still use into the next round. Anyway, Yumi with a rifle right now. It's the light armor strategy also. So RRQ, they have more money, more creds to work with down the line. This time C, looking likely. There you have the smokes being set on up. Baby TZ knows that there's trouble afoot. Yumi though, falls first and foremost. Good hold, and another one. Baby TZ, collateral indeed. 3 down, Best does fight back, but Kaguya already crippled immediately by the Killjoy. Can Nabsky find any value from the bent position? Pauly though, anticipating the push. The snake bite's there. And Kaguya, they didn't expect to lose that many players. Worse for wear now, the pain shell's making it even tougher. Pauly's ready. Down goes Nabsky. And in a 4v1 slate, the door opens.
Perfect.
The paranoia's there. And Margot, all she needs to do is hit the shots. There you go. Finds a target, finds the takedown, and finds the round for Fullsense.
Gets it in the end, but what a spectacular way of anchoring down the site there. They line it up, and she's able to knock her down. Triple for Baby TZ. Obviously, Pauly keeping sure she watches the opposite angle. And the way that RRQ were just completely shut down in the initial attempt. Fullsense, you know, even after losing those 2 rounds, they're here to play.
Yeah, they have to be careful, especially during the cross. We've seen from Baby TZ, especially against OGX yesterday, her anchor spots, just the way that she's willing and able to find those contact points so early on. Instrumental to the success of Sapphire indeed. Ginny though, close contact of the Sky's kind. There you have the Boombot trying to get intel, and you notice here, Black and Blue, since RRQ have been taking half armor measures, they have guns now to fight back with.
Well, maybe they've got some guns, but Guardian and Yumi, Showstopper, that's going to be the big one for Aluka. He has to be able to buy that space for them. I'm not sure if committing to this B site would be the best attempt from them. They have to try and pull that defense somewhere else. You can see once more, Rubble trying to be secured here by Fullsense Sapphire. They just need to be aware of not falling to the same mistakes of what worked out in RRQ's favor during the pistol round.
Yeah, Sapphire is just limiting those options and at least getting more map control as soon as possible. Muffin, though, spotted by the Trailblazer. Paulie thinking about reinforcing the A front line. Margot, though, found first. Muffin with a trade. Now still sticking around by Rubble. There you have the top screen to try and help her out. Muffin gets the target thanks to the snake bite. And the showstopper looking for anyone to just fire that rocket towards to. But in the end, it's 3v3.
Nabsky, very low after that bout. That can benefit her for sure. No Sky, Bess is taken down. No way to get regrowth back up into fighting capacity. It's a B-side pivot that they're going to try and attempt here. And luckily, Baby TZ is here. And they're going to be aware of this attempt. He knows they're coming. She can find timing on this thing. She gets the one. The second. The third doesn't go her way. But she's bought time. Iceberg has to stick.
And now here comes the rest of Fullsense. They just confirmed that it's going to be a B plant 1v2 situation from the shadows now to try and find a better angle. But Polly's already on the defuse. And Fullsense Sapphire, can they stick it? Yes, they do, alongside Ginny getting that takedown. Now we're all tied up, and Sapphire yet again finding the timings just by eliminating options early.
I think she wanted to initially kind of reposition there with from the shadows, but because of the fact that they were already on the spike, yeah, she had to bail out of it and left her in an awkward scenario where she might not have had the best angle. Baby TZ coming in big, calling her name, and sends him to the Shadow Realm. 2 and 2. They tie up the game off of that too, and you can see here that if RRQ are having their options just shut and measured by Fullsense, they're a lot more desperate to try and go for those late round pivots where things can go amok, and that's what Fullsense did.
And Fullsense right now, since they see half armor measures on the other side, look at them too. They're running 25 armor, they're just keeping up on the economy front, and they know at the very least, RRQ Kaguya, they're gonna have more firepower than they always expect. Might as well take the same kind of measures. Stellar shooting already done by Sapphire anyway. Muffin, though, found out by Ayumi. A strong beginning here for RRQ. Ayumi, though, shut down now. Paranoia there to try and keep Margot alive. And can she teleport out in time? High ground held by Ginny. Sapphire has the top part to work with, and the cross is there. Best will fall. Ginny with a takedown. The smoke to cover.
Man, Fullsense Sapphire, they've been consistently picking apart RRQ on these entry attempts. Like, even before the spike gets planted down, they've been losing members just trying to get within the site because they've been holding these angles on the usual choke crosses. So Iceberg, that's a great drop here in the Margot.
Now we see here for Sapphire, they're always at the ready, but now Iceberg giving a chance to RRQ. The flag comes on in. Nabsky still knows Ginny's on top. And Paulie and Baby TZ a different angle to try and work it. Flash comes on in. Ginny knows there's close contact. Iceberg gets 2 for her trouble at the very end. And that could have been it for Nabsky. But Ginny quicker on the reaction. Fullsense still stand.
So close though, how it came. It's a nice attempt by RRQ, but even better from Fullsense, as I said. You know, you start off a lot of those executes just at a disadvantage 5v3 because of the fact that Sapphire, they've been taking off these picks, finding these picks for the most part here early on these initial attempts. Ayumi starts things off, yes, but the kills here coming from Margot, coming from Ginny, it just makes things so much more difficult for the trading game to work out in RRQ's favor at the end of the day, and Fullsense are able to play that player advantage to their, you know, the count to their name. So timeout forced here from RRQ Kaguya, and if you've been kind of keeping track of the economy, even though it's been, you know, 3 rounds that Fullsense have been winning over them, they've still been able to have some sort of proper buy at the end of, rather at the start of each round.
I mean, it's always been close rounds, right? How many players are left for Fullsense in many of these scenarios? Since they're capitalizing that they can play a frontline heavy start onto the map, RRQ will get those picks. RRQ have done their duty to actually carve a path towards these sites, but Sapphire at the very end, just how they limit these options, it's been the biggest reason why that they're prepared for any kind of retake scenario, and that's been case in point for the past few rounds.
These past few rounds certainly haven't been looking like the most fortunate ones for RRQ here. Initial attempt there, you know, you can see Fullsense really making sure they take Rubble away, which is one of those big win conditions teams rely on the defensive side here on Lotus. You take away that Rubble, it makes it so much more difficult to suddenly shift onto a B-side hit or go for that A-side commit. and you're kind of forced onto that B and C side of the map instead, which makes things a lot more, I guess, readable for the defense to be able to anticipate. And
Yeah.
if that's what they can continue to do, shut down the options here for RRQ, then it's going to be a difficult opening half.
Bomb buddy out.
No, I agree with you because they're being funneled basically by Sapphire. Sapphire sifting through these ingredients, knowing what toppings they want, knowing what kind of contact they will get later on. This time though, we don't get that rubble contest here from Sapphire. The Guiding Light still gets confirmation. The RQ nearby towards main. And a chance to pivot towards B if ever. They're looking for picks though elsewhere, especially towards that B side. Muffin anticipating back to the lurk. And we've seen from Sapphire, they haven't crossed over to the other side as of yet here.
Look at the amount of ultimates that Fullsense Sapphire got here. So much to work with for that retake lockdown and Seekers. A side should be theirs. Plant will not go untethered. They will have a lurk here towards that B side, and that's going to keep some of the defense busy.
Yeah, but the RRQ, Navsky actually dodging Paranoia, getting out in time. And it's a big piece of utility that's gone already from this plate. You mentioned though, it's time for ultimates, it's time for Ginny and the Seekers. Maybe it's easy for contact. Finally realized Alaka's there, but Alaka sharp on the shot. A good start here for RRQ, holding down this spike site. Volley on the board, gets to Muffin there as well, and Fullsense now just charging on in. It's all Fullsense here, and Fullsense with another one. No matter the situation, they're prepared for these retakes.
Nicely done from
Don't even
Fullsense.
stop that shit,
Initially,
knife.
nice shot there from Aluka coming up on top of the box, but as I said, you know, Fullsense just have so much more ultimates to throw, and they only used the Seekers for that one, but that was more than enough for them to find out about this off angle, flush Aluka out of it, and the rest of them just circumventing and kind of overcoming whatever post-plant hole that RRQ had set in place. And even though initially Nabsky was pulling some of their attention towards that B site, they knew that they didn't necessarily have to bother about it if they were quick enough on the site take itself.
And come on, Paulie also from drop, right? Getting 2 of those kills out of nowhere. It's a Sapphire right now, stepping up, getting more value than that's initially expected from their positions. And for now, it's pretty clear cut that this strategy is working for them. Play a bit aggressive on a certain angle. Limit those options yet again. And here we have it, Ginny. She's the one who's looking for that contact. No toxic train up as of yet. He's anticipating someone moving through route, and there you go. The smoke a little too late to the party. Nabsky taking a step too far.
Yeah, finds a small opening, but that's more than enough for a player like her to connect the shot.
Here.
Another opening pick here, going in the way of Fullsense Sapphire. And RRQ playing with the odds against him once more. They do have it from the shadows to try and scout out that backside towards the drop maybe, but is that really what's going to be the best
got
tool
your
here?
trail.
So much more ultimates for the retake once again for Fullsense. It can continue the momentum with this, and RRQ Kaguya in such a difficult spot. They're going to have to get somewhat aggressive here just to find an early pickoff and equalize the player count.
Yeah, they're trying to push with Best and Alaka. The flash comes on in, but Ginny back in cover. Trailblazer broken. Paranoia's there. Ayumi does find Margot, but Baby Teasy ready to get on board yet again. It's 4v3 now. Fullsense still funneling RRQ into places that they will find them. Here comes the showstopper. Muffin lets it rip. Ayumi can't dodge it whatsoever. And then Muffin with the clear. Do they know that Iceberg's here in the corner? Dropped out of position of opportunity,
Oh, no.
but she can't even get the shot going. Ginny still survives and thrives. It's Fullsense now with a handful of rounds.
That should have been it. She should have been able to get one there, maybe even 2, considering Muffin was low. You get the quick kill on maybe Muffin, then swap on over to the diffuser. Things could have gone very differently. I mean, I like the attempt here from RRQ to go a bit aggressive. As I was talking about, in that case, you don't have the player count in your favor. Get aggressive, maybe find an early pickoff, but just not able to hit their shots has been a problem here for RRQ Kaguya. And after the timeout, to still not be able to win a round, that's gotta hurt. They still have some sort of buy here, but look at how just even with them able to economically get these rounds going, they can't close them out.
Man, if you think about the protocols we see here, RRQ Kaguya, past few rounds, they say, let's go A. Fullsense, what's their protocol on the defense? Make them go A. Make them stick around the walls, the corners, stay around tree, and we know the rest of the map is ours. So this time, we change up the pace, we change up the site. C looking to be where RRQ Kaguya wants to contest. Mound here taken by Kaguya as well. Fullsense still such a stranglehold so far. So many utilities set up for them on the other side.
Well, lockdown here in place, right, as we call it. You got something to work with, but the counter lockdown's actually timed really well. This is going to make it so that you're going to force RRQ to basically have to use their lockdown for nil, for nothing. They don't get any value out of it effectively. Gets destroyed too, just barely at the end. Oh, detain as well?
Yeah.
I think that's maybe to goad them in to try and go for an aggressive peak, but nothing comes of it.
Yeah, the
The
discipline
RRQ
right now.
Kaguya, just once again, kind of short of options here.
They're just sticking around. They know that they can hold down the site. Now RRQ Kaguya decide to pivot towards B. And the Yumi looking at
30
least to
seconds
find any contact towards Waterfall. Jinny though, the flash is there. And Fullsense now come out to the woodworks to make that 3 here from Margo. Linking up with the rest of the squad. And it's a 3v2 scenario immediately. So low HP already for Alika. Navsky hurt as well. And they're separated here. Spike no longer in the hands
10
of RRQ
seconds
Kaguya. Fullsense in full control. And this round should be theirs yet again.
Man, just perfect timing here from Marco. Dipping into the fight, finding the 3, going unchecked, and RRQ once more in another spot where their attempt to even get the spike down is just completely halted because of the fight's not going their way. And Fullsense have been doing a good job of punishing multiple times over. They expect that aggression to come. They expect them to push towards that CT, towards that defensive spawn side, right? Towards the entry. And when RRQ do so, Fullsense are lying in wait, and they've been once again kind of really cutting down on the options that RRQ have got here. You think it'd be multiple choice, A, B, or C, but sometimes it looks more like a true or false, if anything.
It doesn't even seem to have a right answer by this point. No matter what door you actually will push through, it's Fullsense Sapphire waiting for you. And here we go yet again. Jinny, though, this is trouble, but somehow she avoids it. How is she still alive? Jinny, the unstoppable force cannot be removed whatsoever. 2 down, and Fullsense yet again silencing RRQ Kaguya to begin with.
She simply will not go down.
Oh no.
Jinny, incredible stuff. Baby Teasy gets the 1-off for free. And RRQ look completely lost right now. This is such a desperate half already, and we're only in round number 9. And you can tell that RRQ just almost at a loss for ideas, the same way we're at the loss for words.
I mean, somehow, some way, Jinny survives the end, and Baby Tzizi, she knows that 2 are coming towards Mound. Back to the site she goes, back to the usual positions that she's strong at. Nice bird. The smokes come on out, but it's a desperate endeavor to make it through. Paulie already reinforcing. The Nano Swarm is popped, keeping Iceberg and Navsky at bay. And here comes Baby Tzizi, singing them a lullaby, a sweet kiss goodnight even. 3 down for her, and it's a 5-round gap now for Fullsense.
Man, for one of the tyrants here of the APAC scene in RRQ Kaguya, formerly in the past, Fullsense are really looking like they've taken things up to a different notch here. And a lot of times, in these kind of rematch games, it's a team who lost the last time around who typically learns more, is able to adjust and come back to retaliate and go back and forth. But it's been, for the most part, aside from the opening 2 rounds, a one-way show for Fullsense Sapphire here, and they're looking absolutely stellar.
And you go back to the Rumble take, and RRQ Kaguya needs to respect it. A bit of a split approach as they're trying to find any kind of opening. But maybe this is the perfect time to talk about that history there, Black and Blue. Ever since the Elite Tournament last year, ever since it was Extend versus Alter Ego Celeste, which is pretty much the core of RRQ Kaguya, it has always been Sapphire. Open 1 as Sapphire. Open 2, Open 3. All Fullsense Sapphire every single damn game. And RRQ Kaguya has not found an answer for pretty much over a year already. Koldan mentioned it a while ago. Yes, these maps have gone into overtime in this series, but it's always been a Sapphire victory ever since Sapphire took that slot away on that international stage. Here we go yet again though. Contact now. Muffin and Margo. A bit of trouble thanks to the paint shells. Best looking to find the opportunity. Margo gets the hell out of there still. And Fullsense now retreat towards A.
Able to fall back to safety even with all that pressure, and it's maybe one of those things, Zax, when you look at how these 2 teams are, that just stylistically, once they found out how to adjust and how to counteract them, they work super well, and Muffin's incredible in that double!
You want the counter action? There you go. What a reaction from Muffin. Best though at least gets that kill, but it's 4v2. Make that 4v1. Nabsky the only one standing. She will fall as soon as she's spotted. This is Fullsense Sapphire's domain, and with an 8-2 scoreline, they're putting the proof in
30
it.
seconds
It's
left.
like a glass ceiling, Dax. Once it cracks once, the entire foundation and the structure of it simply goes as well. Incredible stuff we're seeing here from Fullsense Sapphire, and you know, it was throughout the entirety of last year, the core of RRQ, that former Alter Ego Celeste team, they were the ones who were simply spoiling the fun for this Fullsense Sapphire squad when they were still on X10. But one Sapphire found their one win against it when it mattered the most in the grand finals. That is when they turned things around. They've beaten them before, but after that grand final, everything just turned the wayside here for the Kaguya squad.
Yeah, the one in the upper bracket finals, the one in the grand finals, and down everything and anything we've seen here in 2023. Flash comes on in, but look who's ready! Of course, it's Baby TC! Another one bites the dust! It's all Baby TC now, and she gets 3! And the damage has been done yet again. Critical look here for RRQ Kaguya. Ayumi, desperation with the blades, trying to be the hero of this story. And a chance now to pivot, perhaps. Ayumi's pushing towards Gravel. Fullsense here, the auto queue though.
Planted.
And it's time for the retake. Boombot leading the charge. Trailblazer there too. And yet again, Sapphire. Intel so necessary. Paranoia's there. Ayumi, she still gets the kill, yes, but the pain shells will give her her due. It's 2v1 now. Op is out, and Nabsky is gone. Fullsense again. Full control is an understatement.
Absolutely just sensational the way the Sapphire squad have been playing throughout this map, and this is, I'd hate to say it, akin to how it turned out the last time these two teams matched up against each other. That map number 1, just a complete wash in the favor of Fullsense Sapphire. They won on Pearl like 13-2, and then they won Fracture in like 5-6
Super
overtimes, right? Super overtime, basically. Nobody could even count at that point, and we're going to Fracture for map number 2, but this one's looking to tell the same tale as their opening Swiss match might have been.
And that's why we have this map draft in the first place. You saw that RRQ was the one who banned Pearl, even though they were exceptional at it in Open 2, just because of that loss. Overall, Sapphire has manipulated RRQ out of the game in this map right now. And truth be told, they've been affecting them all throughout the year from what we've seen. Seekers, though, are out. Ginny waiting for that initial contact. Healers are coming this way. Here we go with the cross turret. Gets a bit more of confirmation, but Baby TC burns down Nabsky already. She's holding down 3, removing a spot RRQ Kaguya has used to call them home. The lockdown's there too, forcing that contact. Ginny on the board, and it's just RRQ stuck in a sandwich, absolutely pinched from all sides. From the shadows to evacuate, sure, but yet again, choices made by Sapphire towards RRQ.
Very questionable decisions here in how RRQ are playing. As Marco finds a pick off on Ayumi, nobody even applying pressure from the tree door itself. There was maybe just some contact made by Marco, but where's a follow-up on that? Maybe you can Trailblazer into it. You still have it, you know, potentially. And those type of things, it's been creating massive problems here for RRQ, who simply give a one-sided answer to the multiply faceted defense of Fullsense.
And Fullsense Sapphire all throughout this year been getting better and better, looking to make that case that they can reach the stars, reach Team SMG. And of course, their past will not haunt them. They are on a warpath versus RRQ Kaguya with his 10-2 standing. We'll toss it over to the panel to break down what's happened so far.
10-2 for Fullsense Sapphire. I mean, they're just absolutely picking apart RRQ at this point. Coldan, break it down for us.
I mean, it's not much to break down if I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, okay. So they win the first 2 rounds. RRQ has a fantastic start. They buy up into the 3rd round. I'm expecting them to, you know, have something interesting. You know, catch a Fullsense Sapphire off guard with the Bulldogs and the Vandals. But then Fullsense Sapphire, they just realize that, hey, we are the better team, right? Every single read that they've had of RRQ has been on point. Every single time RRQ has attacked the site, Fullsense Sapphire are either proactively pushing for map control, or they're going for a nice rotation towards the site that, you know, actually has the commit that's coming towards. So whenever RRQ are committing to a site, there's always 2 or 3 players of Fullsense Sapphire already there, willing to stand and to fight. And, you know, sometimes when they don't, you know, have multiple players on the site itself, they play for a retake setup. They allow RRQ to actually, gain control over the A side multiple times. At least twice we've already seen Fullsense Sapphire play for that retake setup. They've only used very sparingly their utilities as well, and they're slowly picking them apart. I mean, RRQ just need to regain their composure. They need to realize that they need to play together, they need to trade each other out, and they need to flood the site with util. Swapping over to on the defense side, they need to really push on map control together, or proactively play for a retake in order to really stand a chance in this map.
Phew, yeah, I mean, Fullsense Sapphire, they're just so good at making sure that when RRQ finally commit to the site, they're completely out of util. But we'll see if they manage to keep this up going into the second half. I don't know if RRQ come back from this one, guys. Dax and Blue, back to you.
Hey, look, the last time these two teams faced off, it did go into overtime. But Black and Blue already exposed the script a while ago. Yeah, it always has to be one wash, one overtime in this kind of matchup. It's such a different struggle, though, here for RRQ Kaguya right now, though. Did you see the win streak they have? 10 rounds in a row, right? It hasn't stopped whatsoever, and the momentum fully in Sapphire's favor as they go to the attacking side.
It's not even momentum at this point, Dax. It's absolute inertia. Velocity just doesn't look to stop anytime soon.
Apparently, you need a physicist now just to see how Sapphire's winning.
I mean, there's a movie about a physicist right now, and I think that's more than enough science for the weekend.
Yeah, well, good vibrations aside, though, it's time now to see if Sapphire can keep up this kind of momentum.
Did you just say good vibrations as a long form of good vibes? Is that what it's supposed to mean?
It's a double entendre, honestly. If you watched it, you will know. Okay?
I see.
Remember I told you my story when I watched Barbie and that movie was right beside us? There you go. Yeah, now, there you go. Sublime indeed. And there you have it. Sublime from RRQ. They at least are holding together, working as a unit. Kodak mentioned it. They just need a bit of teamwork. And now the team is setting themselves up for success. Gone is Fullsense, and RRQ stands on C.
It's another pistol round win for RRQ, and that's certainly nothing that you can certainly fault. Of course, in this case, still a long way to go, to say the very least, but it's a start, and that's the most important thing. RRQ, they gain a round back, maybe, just maybe, but Dax at this map is suddenly defender-sided.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that RRQ can work with, and maybe here on the defense, they're going to be a bit more coordinated on their approach, especially as they know Sapphire is coming their way. There we go with the Guiding Light, though. It's an eco round here for Fullsense. As you can see already, RRQ picking up a rifle, picking up a few bulldogs along the way. They know they need to invest early just in case. RRQ, early aggression, sure. Navsky will retreat for now. And Sapphire funneling themselves, moving over A instead, where it's actually best awaiting them.
Slowly taking their time. Here comes down that push from Fullsense. Best in difficult spot. No more guiding lights, no flashes to continue for the fight. Baby TC good on the one. They know where Best is. The help is coming in big here, and Muffin follows up with a double.
Yeah, but Fullsense, they have the advantage now. They pick up a few guns as well. And look what Baby TC has. She has the Phantom in hand. So timing now might be key here for Sapphire. The angle even better. And Muffin gets a 3K here. We've seen Muffin step up these situations. Will the anti-eco stand? Yes, it will be a Sapphire win. What a way to get that victory. What a way to get that thrifty, man.
Yeah, they just completely got overrun there on the side. They wanted to anchor things down. They thought they could and simply front the push here of Sapphire, but even these diamonds in the rough have completely shined and shimmered today. RRQ trying to bring the rough game to them, but it's completely smooth sailing from Fullsense Sapphire, who have no problems at all dealing with the defense right now.
And we've seen again how Sapphire works with the numbers advantage. As soon as they realize the landscape of the defense, that it was only Best there, later on reinforced by one more player. They took advantage of the corners. They took advantage especially on the wall on the right side of the site. And from that point on, they found the kills and they found the guns to work with. This is a perfect chance for them to keep on going, as it's RRQ forced to play the eco instead.
Man, it's so difficult right now for RRQ. The way things have gone, and just the disparity of the coordination in Fullsense in comparison to Kaguya for this map specifically, it's very, very evident here that Fullsense just came today to play, and there's nothing RRQ have done or been able to do to stop him.
One enemy
Look, so
remaining.
far, Fullsense Sapphire, they're making a very good case for themselves. Look at their bracket. Look at who they're facing up against right now, as it's a flawless victory to put themselves on match point. They took down the Orangutan X yesterday. They're putting themselves in a good spot here to beat RRQ Kaguya as well, especially on this first map. And if this continues, Sapphire is just making that statement that they are gunning for that top spot of the Game Changers APAC League.
Well, they've done it once before, Dax. When they weren't the favorites, when they were the perennial second or third seed at best, they took down the champs. They took down this former Alter Ego squad to claim it all in the lead. And right now, the favorites looking like SMG. They're looking to take their crown as well with these type of performances.
Yeah, this is now Sapphire unleashed truly. And it took them a while to get started this year, but here now in Open 3, we're getting maximum potential realized by the Sapphire squad that represented the region before. Now, a default on what could be the last round of this map. Besto, a plan to play aggressive with Alaka. Do they dare swing and push? There's the flash and a kill onto Polly. Best also covering
Perfect.
fire. Stellar crossfire made there, covering one another. And a good beginning for Kaguya to keep alive.
But you see the coordination, and that's something we haven't been seeing from a lot of the pushes of RRQ there. You have Alka on the wide swing, Best holding a close angle because they know someone's going to be playing that trade position, and she's at the ready. They're at the ready for both. It's exactly what RRQ have to continue to do if they have any hopes of coming back into this map.
Yeah, that's the level of play that Sapphire have set. RRQ need to match that. Heck, they have to surpass that if they want to make this comeback happen. They do know, though, an A push awaits. The
30
door
seconds
open,
left.
Margot and Muffin cross accordingly. Ginny's waiting for any of them to come from the doorway. There's the teleport, but Best wins the fight anyway. And it's Muffin who will fall. Ginny gets two. Here comes Ayumi with the operator. It's 1v3. Ginny has the secrets at least to know where these targets are. But it's a difficult task, made even harder by their positions. Time running out. Ginny needs to go. There's the op. There's Best now towards the corner. RRQ just running away from the fight. Keeping in cover, keeping in check. And they eventually group up to slay the last member. It's RRQ who survived for now.
You know, we needed to see more of that in the previous rounds. It wasn't even about hitting the shots necessarily, just the way that they actually addressed each individual problem here. And you talked about the level of play of what Fullsense Sapphire brought to this map, brought to this game, and this series specifically. And it was such a big disparity in how much more coordinated and how much more set positioning Fullsense had compared to RRQ. And if they can continue to play like that, especially if we move on over to the second map, then we could have a real series on our hands.
Yeah, they just need a bit of a wake-up call here, and a Yumi perhaps. Alarm bells ringing, and there you have it. Eyes wide open, Margot falls. A good start here for Kaguya. At least that pick. Now making Sapphire slow down the pace yet again.
That's a thing too. Trying to be aware of somebody on that peak, right? Making sure that on the close angle, on the cross angle rather, expect and trying to, in the first place, guess that Margot could be there. Anticipate that is a proper word. You know they got an omen. They can definitely do things like that. And Ayumi, once more, expecting now, honestly, having the right read in the situation where they could be coming towards this B site.
Yeah, it's difficult because Sapphire only has the toxic screen to work, and it's headed towards a Pain Shell Stone Lob. Ayumi has to disengage, and look at Muffin go. Iceberg though will stop her. Dead to rights. Ginny with a trade, and this time around Sapphire yet again with the rotation. They're down a member, sure. They open the doorway, but they double back, and they're looking to move perhaps towards A here.
Showstopper available for Alaka.
30 seconds left.
Maybe they can shut them down. They don't seem to be ready of this A-side hit just yet, so it's going to be a bit late on the rotation. But that doesn't have to be necessarily a problem. They still have the player count advantage in their favor. The Best from the door opens things up and absolutely takes them down. Now they're pressed for time.
Yeah, Yumi might have the angle here, and there you go. Nice shot, even better from Navsky, and RRQ yet again stay alive here. The rotation that was pulled, you were talking about it a while ago, might have been a threat towards the RRQ defense. But since they got these early picks, since they had that pressure, especially given by Iceberg, given by the operator on the Jets, it was enough for them to weather that storm. And I think the problem right now for Sapphire on this attacking side is they're running out of time trying to go for these rotations, looking for opportunities.
Really smart there by Yumi as well. Once she spied Muffin kind of jump peeking out there to try and get information. She anticipated the fact that, hey, somebody, maybe Margot, could be crawling up on the deeper angle. Takes her out, but the fact that they're giving multiple points of ways to contest and presence here, RRQ on this defensive side, that's exactly what they have to continue to do moving forward, even if this map, let's say, closes out later on in Fullsense Sapphire's favor. The lessons that and the attempts that they've been doing these past 2 rounds, it's really so far different from what they were trying to do on the attacking side and what they've been doing a while ago. And it's not just because of the side swap, it's also just the way they address things. You can tell, much more coordinated, and the type of play that has earned them the infamy that they have in the APAC scene.
Yeah, things look so much more in sync, right? It's a completely different team we're seeing now compared to the first half. And if RRQ Kaguya can continue on this form, they can make this map very respectable. They even go for that big comeback. It's such a tough task ahead of them. 7 rounds still the gap. Rifles at the ready here for Sapphire. And we go for another default play. Slow things down, cut that noise, and find that opening perhaps towards B here.
Never going out.
Trailblazer out. B-side execute to come now for Fullsense Sapphire. No ultimates in the way to throw him, but if they do get the plant, they can get some of these online, namely that lockdown, which would be big. Spike down, retake to come in for RRQ. They got the showstopper to initiate, but Baby Teasy just burns down Best on the retreat.
Yeah, doesn't realize the Nano Swarm's there thanks to the smoke, and Napsky now with a find out the Muffin. Napsky, if she can get 1 board, that can be the lockdown that they can utilize, but no, not gonna happen in this round. Sapphire now with the advantage. Showstopper absolutely stopped indeed. And Fullsense Sapphire, a step in the right direction, and stepping on the opposition with domination. What a win, especially after that first half buffer. They show yet again they have RRQ's number.
And you see the player cams there at the end once more after winning like the same way they did versus Orangutan yesterday. Completely calm, completely collected. They know the job ain't done. They're here for the long game. They want to make it into Elite with the best record that they can set just to kind of get themselves going right and absolutely dominate as much as possible. But you know, the mistakes that were being shown here and the feathers that were being shed by RRQ throughout that first half, they have to completely let go of that, because what we saw from the second half, as you said, Dax, looked like a much more in sync and a completely different team. And if they can continue that here in the Fracture, knowing that they played a lot better on Fracture the last time they played these two teams played against each other, then we could definitely see this extend into a third map. So even though map number 1 might have been a wash, I don't think that's going to continue on for the rest of the series.
Yeah, but then again, you look at how Sapphire has been playing, how incredible still the caliber of play we've seen from Baby TZ, from Muffin, from Ginny especially. Honestly, we notice how she's always able to get these crosses going, that she's able to find this kind of intel, and Sapphire, the gears are just clicking, everything's just rotating accordingly, and we'll rotate ourselves out. We'll toss it over to the panel to break down what happened on that first map.
Thank you, gentlemen. 13-5. We saw kind of like a glimmer of hope, I think, for RRQ Kaguya after that switch. But I think the main question for us right now, Kolden, is did we see enough from RRQ in this map number 1, right? Because they're going to have to bring this to a map 2 to even get to that map 3. Coming into this match, we're like, oh, this is supposed to be redemption for RRQ. They had that disappointing 5-6 finish in Open 2, and they're supposed to, come back stronger, come back different. But did we see enough of that?
Did we see enough? I think it's a glimmer of hope, as what the casters have mentioned, but not enough in my books to be anything convincing at this point in time. Let's take a look at the scoreboard to really see how this entire map kind of played out, and I think pretty self-explanatory. I mean, if you look at the scoreline just by itself, it was a 10-2 half. And I think no surprise again, Baby TZ topping the scoreboard for Fullsense Sapphire. What a performance from her yet again as that Sentinel player. 20-10. Yeah,
This
five
is
first
the-
kills.
This is gonna be her third MVP in 3 maps. I'm calling
Yeah.
it right now. She got 2 from yesterday in that 2-0, and I mean, she's got to be getting this third one today after that Lotus performance. Just absolutely insane. It's also, I think she got like 3 first kills on Killjoy yesterday from one of the games too, and we were already like, okay, like 3 first kills on the Sentinel is pretty darn good. 5 first kills as a KJ. I mean, sheesh, girl. Leave some for
Yeah.
the rest of your teammates. Come on.
I think it's a little bit of an interesting factor, right? When you have Baby TZ as your Sentinel player and you allow Fullsense to start on the defending side, I think it just empowers Baby TZ even more, right? Whenever
Yep.
you have her on a single site,
Absolutely.
you can trust her to get at least 2 or 3 or maybe even shut down the entire push. And that's just so much confidence in the back pocket, right? Of Fullsense. And Ginny, I gotta mention her as well. She got a couple of really, really insane opening picks on the defending side, just holding an angle. I remember so many times she's just ADSing with the Vandal, looking down a super tight corner, like 1
Yep.
pixel thin. And then she
Yep.
just gets an instant headshot and gets away scot-free. No idea how she's able to do that, but I mean, every single player is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jenny is just absolutely insane. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see some of her kills in the highlight reels, but just wow, like the angles that she manages to hold, the patience, and also just that insane reaction speed. Like I swear, like she shoots before my eyes even register anything. I'm like, holy cow! I don't know how she does it, but she's just proving that she's still got that magic after so many years. And called it. It's 10% Yuta kills? Yo. Yeah, her nano swarms were so nasty this map too. But once again, that KDA assist percentage, the 77.8%. Yesterday, she was also rocking up with the 70%-ish numbers as well. Just showing that it's not just the solo kills that she gets at the start when people hit the site that she's at, but also that she's using that util to help out her team, like in the retakes and with the team play also. It's just, I mean, the numbers don't lie.
Yeah, Fullsense Sapphire, they're just insane players in their own right. They're very smart and they're very confident to take on those fights, but we'll see if RRQ can be confident in the next map. It's gonna be Fracture, and they really gotta recompose themselves and gain back that confidence to know that they definitely do stand a chance, but it's gotta start off on the second map. We'll be right back after this break, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you after this.
Found them. Killed my ball. Spike down. 1 enemy remaining. Flawless. 30 seconds left. Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Got the money in the bank. Hit you with the. Hit you with the bank. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Bang to the break. Bang to the break. Bang to the break. Bang, 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 bang. I'm a boss, and you know that I'm finna shine. Got the money in the bank. Got the money in the bank. Got the money in the bank. Bank, 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 bank. Got the money in the bank. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the. Hit you with the bank. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Bang to the break. Bang to the break. Bang to the break. Bang, 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 bang. I'm a boss, and you know that I'm finna shine. Got the money in the bank.
Hi guys, and welcome back to map 2 of series 1 of the day between Fullsense and RRQ Kaguya. Fullsense giving us that full show versus RRQ on Lotus. I mean, whew, every time we see this team, they get better and better, right? And I think the narrative coming into today was that Fullsense, they're already qualified for Elite, right? They're just aiming to beat SMG in one of the opens or one of the competitions this year. But for RRQ Kaguya, it's really about the revenge, the redemption, and I don't know if this is the series that we're gonna see them come back from. What do we think? Oh, your mic.
it's got to start here and it's got to start now, my Mike. You know, getting off to a cold start, but that's something that RRQ cannot afford, right? They really need to get their grip together and really understand that this is it, right? Fracture is a map that they've played before. Fracture is a map that they're pretty, consistently played over the past few months. And going up against Fullsense Sapphire, they've played it before in the previous series. It went to an overtime affair of 20-18 with Fullsense Sapphire, barely winning it at the very end. But it's not an impossible matter. You know, it isn't that impossible map that it might seem. I think they have a decent chance at it, especially if they do run the typical lineup, which is the double duelist.
I think they
I'm
haven't-
curious.
Yeah, I think it's been a while since they ran the Neon on Fracture
Yeah, that's
as
true.
well. I would love to see them bring that Neon back. Also, I feel like the thing about Fracture, right, is that it's a map that you cannot play scared. If you go into Fracture without like 120% confidence, Fullsense, especially as a team, will absolutely catch you out. So I'm kind of a bit worried for RRQ, you know? I don't know if that map won. I don't know if that's just the level that they're at right now, or if that was like it's our first warm-up game of the day, but we can actually play better, you know? So I'm not sure what to think coming into this map too, especially on Fracture.
Yeah, I mean, RRQ cannot play scared, right? That is a must. They need to really play together and really enable all of their players with great sets of utility. Looks like they might be running that Sky as well as Breach combo, so they do have a couple of flashes that they can get information, they can get map control over. So they really just need to play together, I think. It's more of a team synergy thing than more of compared to an individual matter. So RRQ, they just need to, hammer down the basics. It is a map that they're comfortable on, so that is, I guess, the win condition for this one.
Yeah, I think it's this and Ascent, right? Their most played maps. Usually it does end up in a best of 3. I think it's like Ascent, Fracture, Haven, I wanna say. Yeah, usually in those best of 3 series. So hopefully, that comfortability is going to lend itself to them putting up a better showing, because we want this series to go to that 3 maps, right? I mean, we've been waiting this whole year for RQ to just prove themselves again. And yeah, we did do a little bit of quick maths, not our strong suit, here at the desk, but we did a bit of quick math. And before Open 3 playoffs, we did have the 3 teams that were qualified through to Elite already, with SMG, RMU10X, as well as Fullsense Sapphire. After RRQ's win yesterday, because they do guarantee top 6 now that they're in the upper bracket, they're also qualified for Elite. They're the 4th team that will make it through, and I'm actually not sure if RRQ have done the math yet. I'm not sure if, in the breaks, we should, go tell them, girls, you're qualified. You can just, W gaming, do what you want. You got this. You're making it regardless of, how you play today. But, yeah, I mean, regardless how the series ends, they've punched their ticket to Elite already.
Yeah, even though they did qualify already, I think that they really, really want to make a statement, right?
Yeah.
When they're faced up against such an enemy, kind of like the arch enemy.
Whoa.
yeah, like the arch enemy,
here.
framing it. Yeah, that'd be their friends, but enemies on the server,
rivals.
right? Rivals on the server. You really, really want to break that chain of success that they've had against you. 3 wins to nothing. RRQ, they must be just vying for that win. And after map number 1, we saw a little bit of glimmer of hope at the end towards the the second half. And if they can carry that little bit of confidence over into map number 2, you have Ayumi on that jet, you have Aluka, as well as Iceberg and Bez there to set her team up. I think it's a winnable thing. I genuinely do believe that RQ have a chance on Fracture, especially considering the fact that we went into very deep overtime the previous time they did play Fracture. And it's got to require a team effort, and
For sure.
I'm really hoping for that.
Yeah, it's their best map, right? And also they've gone for their, I think this is the same composition they've run for like the last 6 times they've played Fracture, so a very comfortable, very standard, pretty much setup from them this time around. They are starting on attack side as well, and you know, we said this at the start of map 1 too, that they've got to come out of the gates guns blazing if they want that chance to just overpower Fullsense Sapphire. I think FS Sapphire right now, like, they're just straight vibing, like they're feeling it. Like there's no way to heat check these girls. I think for RRQ Kaguya in map number 1, we saw them win pistol, and then we saw them convert that into the second round win as well. It was kind of in round 3 that those cracks started to appear and problems started to show up. I think that if RRQ can recreate that success in the pistol and in round 2, then they've definitely got a chance. How do we feel?
Yeah, that definitely is one way for them to get into this map. I think another, very general aspect of Fracture is that it's a really rather big map as well. There's a lot of map control that you can get as an attacker, right? You have 4 avenues for you to push at the start of the round. And I think what RRQ really wants to do, right, is push back the defenders, right? Push them back towards the site, deny them of information, and then gather up and attack the site together, and overwhelm the defenders of Fullsense Sapphire. But of course, I say it's much easier in theory compared to, when you're actually going up against Baby TZ as one of the sentinels on one of the sites. But yeah, that's something that RQ need to, really work together, really push it together, this map right here, in order to push it to a potential map number 3 and, potential series win into the upper finals of Open 3.
Honestly, I feel like any team playing versus Baby TZ, like that girl, she's pretty much like how everyone feels when you're trying to get on site and if you realize like they've bought op. Like I feel like it's the same thing, right? Like, you try an entry on site, you hear the op go off and you're like, oh no, the op's here, and then everyone just like hightails it out of there, rotates to a different site. I feel like that's how people are starting to think of Baby TZ. It's like you get on site, you hear the tower and you're like, oh, Baby TZ is here, oh, the Killjoy is here, forget it. And then we're all just like, rotate, just pack it up, move it along, go somewhere else. I don't know. I'm kind of getting the feeling that, that's how teams are starting to view Fullsense Sapphire at this point. I think we,
yeah.
we
Yeah,
have a bit of a tech pause. Yeah, well, we'll be a couple more minutes more. What are you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying, like, it's kind of that reliability thing that Baby TZ brings for a team, right? Because she is so devastating as a solo anchor on any of those sites, you can, go for a bit more of those gamble stacks. As Fullsense Sapphire on the defensive side, you can stack a bit more players towards the side that Baby TZ isn't playing on, because you know that she's good for 1 or 2 and might even just survive into the retake. So that is something that Fullsense Sapphire have been in their back pocket. RRQ have a chance to disrupt that, have a chance to really make a name for themselves here now.
Yeah, I mean, this is where they gotta step up. This is where they gotta show up. If they wanna do better than their 5th, 6th place finish in Open number 2, then today is the day that we gotta see that brand new RRQ. Guys, our tech pause, thankfully, is over. All players loaded in, ready to go from one pair of black and blue to another. Jackson Blue, back over to you.
Okay, nice precision there, Jenny. I love it.
I'll give
Alright,
half a point.
Yeah, look, they went. Look at their apparel. So they're rocking your colors, black and blue.
Yeah,
Look at what we're wearing right now.
That's not what they showed up in rehearsal to a while
Yeah,
ago. So I want Coldan to swap back over the baby blue later on, and maybe we'll actually get something going.
Yeah, their costume changed there. But look at what we're running. So you have the elephants.
Yeah.
I have the cats.
You have cats.
Raph on the
Over
other
the
stream.
broadcast.
He has the dogs, and so it's a jungle out there apparently. But the kingdom of Fullsense Sapphire. It's more of a zoo. I don't know. It might even be a fiesta later on. But my point here really is Fullsense Sapphire. Their kingdom is Fracture. If you look at their statistics, right, even though RRQ Kaguya picked this map, I don't think I've seen Sapphire actually lose all throughout this year on Fracture. The closest that they ever got to losing was versus RRQ Kaguya in the Swiss stage, and that went into 7 overtimes. This time I counted because you asked in the last map. So, can RRQ get the job done here and survive? You know the script, you know that this series can get competitive, and now they want to compete moving towards A.
Well, Seems like they're coming here towards that A main as we talked about. And look at this, they line up. Muffin only good for the one. Still though, Polly chiming into the fight, not dissuaded. She gets her one before she's done, falls back away in a safety, takes her time, just as you might have had to count all those overtimes during our break.
Yeah, the small little tech pause that wasn't even a tech pause, but then again, RRQ stopped immediately in their tracks. You can see for Fullsense, a lot of their stratagems do rely on how Ginny and Marco can utilize their utility to help out in a pinch. A fault line there stops RRQ, and now we go back to a slower pace yet again.
Well, RRQ, all hope is not lost just yet. That the Sheriff here and Aluk, and they maybe find a pick off with that, continue on to the site. They're double backing down towards the safe site, but it's from the drop now, which will make a much more silent approach a lot more difficult. They still got those guiding lights. If they can clear out this top floor, then they do have a real chance.
Yeah, but Ginny's covered. Marco now spots out the drop position, and here comes the RRQ. Do they know Polly's on site? Now they do, and now they'll fall. Fullsense Sapphire prepared for anything, and they get the pistol this time.
Yeah, not expecting them to be still within the site there, and they fall prey to that problem. They had the guiding lights to clear it out anyways. I get they wanted to play contact, but then maybe you want the Sheriff up close, or rather at the forefront if that's the case, so you can maybe get that pick off on the tower, which, to be fair, Bess actually got the dink there on the baby TZ, so she had the Sheriff or something of that sort that Alika did. Maybe something could have been different, but let bygones be bygones. It's Fullsense taking the pistol round now, which we actually, surprisingly, even with a stomp a while ago, have yet to see all series.
Actually, right? First pistol they've won all throughout, and baby TZ makes quick work of Alika. A different case of an eco though here for RRQ. It's a full eco this time around. They didn't really get the spike down. They didn't get much in that last scenario. And one thing you can do on Fracture here, Black and Blue, go for orbs, get a bit of ultimate economy instead.
Well, you can farm that up, especially here in the attacking side, which is one of the reasons, maybe not the main reason, but one of the small reasons why the attacking side could be favored here in RRQ. And let that go their way for the meantime. Full line here prepared to try and get within the site. Ginny's on the rotate. They have a big problem to try and flush Margot out of this, which they simply cannot.
There's no way. And baby TZ even bringing out the classic. A bit of an honorable duel at the very end. Sapphire though stands with 2. And from what we've seen so far, this is also what Sapphire does incredibly well on the defense. Anticipate these pushes and be ready for any kind of angle to work with.
Well, in these type of moments where RRQ have got an opportunity here to reset themselves, come back into this map, they have to turn this over. Going to the lower bracket, sure, it's about they can fight their way out of, but for one of the most, I guess, storied teams that we have here, in terms of the entire circuit from the beginning of APAC, it's not going to be a good sign for them. Attacking side now for RRQ. It's baby TZ who still comes out for the opening pick on Alika.
Yeah, you know they're looking for those highs, and as we do get Napsky finding baby TZ, who over-aggresses towards main. Best surprise by Margot crossing through the smoke. Timing perfect here from Sapphire, as RRQ does take tower to go for the spike plant. It's 4v3 for the time being.
Here.
Low aftershock too. They now understand it's gonna be a safe plant instead here for Kaguya. Margot alongside Muffin look to set things up. Feint shells plus the Prowler. Here comes Polly with the takedown, and the blast back's enough to bring Muffin to the front line. A Yumito on the board, and she can't get more than one. It's Sapphire now who gets the end one here, my friend. A bonus one by the defense.
Yeah, great shots here coming from them. Fullsense, Sapphire, even on an eco like this, just from the get-go, turning things their way, favoring them with that opening pick from baby TZ, with that Sheriff shot, and the rest of RRQ, they're just put into such an uncomfortable position where they know against the bonus like this, they can't push out, but when they try and hunker down on in, Fullsense just still bulldozer and overrun them.
Yeah, and look, for the past few days, for the past 2 days especially, what have we seen from Sapphire? The sharpest they've ever been on the shots, and the sharpest they've ever been on the calls. They're always so prepared for whatever pace any of their opponents bring against them. And it's really the responsibility here of Kaguya to figure out how to find these openings, and they're gonna try to do that with a split approach now.
Well, right now, RRQ still have some sort of buy. They do got those bulldogs. Obviously, the orbital strike as well would be big. You can see them being able to farm up those orbs early on, which is very helpful in these cases where you can't really get yourself going, can't really get around on in a main hold here from Fullsense. They do have the fault line prepped, and that's going to keep him at bay even while the stun comes in on Muffin.
Yeah, but they can't push Muffin whatsoever. They utilize so much to try and get the catch. And one thing, Fullsense has been strong also alongside everything we've seen from them so far, the disengage keeping them alive. Smokes to come on out, Jenny getting ready, catches the cross of icebergs, Foley's there too, and yet again, Fullsense mark their target and mark where they need to shoot. Muffin still standing on site. It's 3v2 now as RRQ look for
30
opportunity.
seconds left.
Here we go yet again. That smoke might dissipate soon. Namski picks up the spike, decides to wrap around, maybe go through CT instead.
Oh,
TC
shit,
Margo.
timing.
They're not ready for this whatsoever. They're both looking out for the front line. Maybe
player
TC now,
standing.
6
Oh, no.
cents! And how does he
Spike down.
realize
Defender
that
spawn.
Namski's coming? Oh, left to Alaka now. 10 seconds
seconds
left.
left.
And time of the essence.
Eight.
Alaka fights back. But there is just no chance yet again. Sapphire keeping this lead going.
Small
Nate, they're
crucial
beautiful.
mistakes there for RRQ. They had a flash to pop out of this smoke anyways, but they still just push idly by. Iceberg's the first one to push as well. I guess they were pressured that they thought they would be swung from that tower, but they had the flash, they had the guiding light anyways, and then when Napski's here on the flank, she needed to call to Alaka. Alaka, they know where you are. Make sound, make noise. Pull that aggro towards yourself just to maybe buy a few more extra seconds where they're going to keep their attention focused on you. But just that once more lack of cohesion, it causes huge problems for RRQ.
And not just that, the communication, right? Well, RRQ a bit more passive, Fullsense so active. Check out the tower, check out this angle, and check out Muffin swing a Yumi with the trade, but Polly's there yet again. The
Spike
second
down
gunner
A.
ready for business. 2 down to the hand of Polly. She's gonna go for the smoke even to make it even more difficult for RRQ to pick up that spike.
Incredibly, as of the moment, it's gonna be so difficult for them to get that back in return. So if you're RRQ, you almost kind of want to just maybe try and take a completely different path. I think you should continue that flank they had there towards B main.
Last player
Approach it
standing.
from a different avenue because there's no way they're gonna be able to come in through the main door.
Yeah, Sapphire sets in their ways and they're stopping RRQ again and
Look off the
again.
spike, placing
Alaka picks up the
sentry.
spike. There are too many members on the other side. Haunt already with confirmation. Broken sure. But Alaka needed to make noise. Turret might be next. Margo spotted. But truth be told, this is Sapphire's win and we're just waiting for confirmation. This defense looking
30
so
seconds
strong.
left.
A stellar shot from Alaka. You always have to respect what RRQ can do. But respect this. The lead yet again built by Sapphire.
5 rounds in a row. We thought this would be more of the quick response that we were expecting from RRQ in terms of getting themselves back into the series. Kind of like what we saw during the Swiss stage where they were able to bring it into overtime, but RRQ just looking completely lost right now on this attacking side, which has been something that we have kind of observed during Lotus as well. It was on the defense when they're able to set themselves, not have to necessarily be the aggressor in these fights. That's when they look more comfortable, because right now on the attacking side, you can tell that they just are lacking that cohesion and also sophistication in how they approach their objective.
Yeah, and you look at the stats right now. You look at who's on top of the scoreboard. Paulie has always been that second gunner, especially from what we've seen for the past 5 rounds. Ready to trade Muffin at moment's notice.
Right here.
Ready to trade for Ginny, if ever that's the case.
Right here.
And she just steps
Right
up
here.
when she's needed the most.
Need help.
That's really the story so far for Sapphire. Such a team that is playing to their most optimized state. A squad that is looking prime and ever to gun for a open crown. And from the way that they're playing, we see it yet again. Such a vast difference of their standards compared to the rest of the field that they're facing off so far.
Paulie is definitely having himself a great game. Ginny right now near the bottom of that board, but it's only early in the half, and funnily enough, when it did come into overtime, it was Ginny who ended up being near the top
Turrets destroyed.
of that ACS in totality.
Here,
But
I've
maybe
got
that was
your
a sign of
shot.
things not going their way, right? The fact that you had your breach popping off in that case. In this moment, though, A side hit coming from RRQ. They have an actual buy this time around. Orbital strike to come out here in the post. And you can see Ayumi trying to get aggressive.
You realize spots out baby TZ, and now that's what RRQ has been looking for. The pick, the spike plant, and they finally put themselves in a setup for success. A flank though coming in from Muffin, the lurk now moving towards Halls. And Fullsense making noise from tower, trying to pull that attention, but Yumi checks it, and the Yumi gets that takedown. Exactly what RRQ has been looking for. Marco stunned on up. Difficult here for Sapphire to get even close. And my oh my, how the tables have turned. This is the standard Kaguya's been looking for, and at least they set themselves up for that first round win.
Yeah, finally RRQ Kaguya respond here with a round, and one that was certainly quite impressive. The fact that they were able to really set themselves in this fight. Ayumi making sure that she's the aggressor in those cases. Finds great timing there to take out Baby Teasy, and then the follow-up on the Muffin who was on the flank. If you're a Yumi right now, you need to start getting those, opening picks, because that's how RRQ love to pivot. They like to really be able to use the benefit of her gaining momentum early to continue and close out the round.
I mean, you know that RRQ Kaguya have rich stories behind them. These players have dominated the game changer scene before. And that level of play needs to be made yet again if they want to compete versus Sapphire. They do go for drop. But Baby TZ stalling tactics with the utility yet again. It's a 4 stack though. Looking to move towards A. Fullsense this time, the retake being set early on.
Plant on down here. Great one from RRQ, which is looking already better. They have the From the Shadows. Rather, they have the Nightfall and that Showstopper. But there's a lot more to counteract with here for RRQ. So the utility shuffle of these ultimates is going to be crucial.
Yeah, lockdowns there, and RRQ now looking to go for
timing.
the whole perfect flash into the takedown. This is what we're looking for again from RRQ. The utility setups into the knockdowns. 2 down already, and Sapphire will call for an early save. You talked about it a while ago, Black and Blue. The dry peaks didn't work for RRQ whatsoever. This time, assistance is key, and it's a key to victory yet again.
And they only had to burn the lockdown for that, so very nicely done here coming from RRQ. They knew because of the time already burnt, because Fullsense were not able to be at the ready for the retake immediately when the spike was being attempted to be planted. That allowed RRQ to have this bit of a buffer where, okay, 15 seconds is gone off our post plant. We can place that lockdown, take out 12, and now you leave him with less than 20 to work with. And that's very, very tight timing, especially with a defuse of 7. That makes Fullsense just not even want to attempt the retake in the first place. So RRQ finally stabilizing themselves, and hopefully this could be a good sign of things to come, because the glimpse of what we've seen from the end of map number 1 into these past 2 rounds, this is the RRQ Kaguya we were all expecting.
Yeah, things are looking a lot better here for Kaguya. The fact that they can play off Bess and Iceberg's flashes, that you're getting Ayumi to ramp up those kills. Remember last time, or rather looking at the stats from the Swiss stage, 45 kills from Ayumi in 7 overtimes. It has to be a record there somewhere. But RRQ Kaguya, they know that they can compete with Sapphire, especially here on Fracture. That's why they picked it. That's why they know that they have this confidence right now. And I wonder what is next here for Sapphire, since giving up that site is looking to be such a detriment to their defense.
RRQ, as of the moment, if they can force Fullsense to have to give up that control early and not expend too much utility or firepower doing it, so don't lose their player count in that attempt, then this could certainly be where they turn things around. I mean, this is the attacker's side, so the fact that Fullsense already have 5 rounds here, it's gonna look pretty dire if RRQ don't start to gain some rounds of their own.
Well, RRQ is pushing now towards main, and Paulie ready for opportunity if ever. Steam Beacon set, bit of speed to work with too. The flash though doesn't get the connection, but the numbers do, and Ayumi Nalaka, the double A's are ready for service. 2 down already for Sapphire. RRQ disengages with the advantage, and now they can rotate accordingly towards underpass, towards tunnel, if ever they want to find a split approach again.
Alarm bot.
Great Punisher from RRQ to connect those shots. Fullsense kind of being a bit overzealous there, honestly, and overstaying their welcome. Trying to front the attack like that on towards B main. That's not the best idea to do, especially when you can tell the majority of the push is coming your way. This leads RRQ to have a much more favorable fight, effectively having, what, a 4 or 5v2 in that case. Now RRQ have another chance to string another round.
Yeah, this might be the conditioning Kaguya's looking for, but Sapphire fight back. Jinny finds a Yumi. Margot coming in from tower as well. Prowler now knows that main is the angle. And a Nightfall looking to be utilized as well. Baby TZ leading the charge. Jinny with the tap, but no one peeking whatsoever. The taking instead. Useful here to give the advantage for the damage. And Fullsense, though, they will lose that full steam ahead approach. RRQ hold down the line.
You can see here that with knowing they have the advantage and looking at what ultimates are available for Fullsense on that retake, even in a 3v5, they make absolutely certain that they play the safest and most correct way possible there, knowing that Fullsense, they have the lockdown for the retake. They had the Nightfall as well for the retake, so they don't play within sight. They plant the spike specifically for B main because they know they took out Poly. There's no more smokes to try and smoke off the diffuser or smoke off B main, and allows now RRQ to play that long angle, play the post plant effectively, and when they have those ideas that sync up with what they're supposed to do in those cases, then this is when RRQ look so much more frightening.
Yeah, and not just that, great timing from Iceberg. She went for the Rolling Thunder to prevent if anyone was defusing, but she's the one who also got those kills as soon as possible. Here comes Kaguya yet again. The Bulldozer ready to go for the next station. Poly ulting that work permit. Iceberg, though, with the trade. It's 4v4 for now. The Rolling Thunder gets a connection, and Jinny will take advantage. This forces RRQ to retreat instead. They couldn't push towards site. Back to arcade they go.
3v4. Fullsense still hold on to the advantage here. You can tell RRQ forced and flushed out of their initial attempt. A site it's going to be, but the rotate here for the defense is very quick on a map like Fracture. Not a long distance to try and cross, and Muffin connects here in Alika. 2v4, and it wouldn't be a bad idea here to maybe hunt for a pick. If it doesn't come within the next few seconds, you can go for a save.
Yeah, good fault line there, but Jinny's ready. And oh, Jinny, and oh, Muffin too. Oh no, for RRQ Kaguya. They run into those sideplans. They didn't realize that the operator was already stationed. And just a small adjustment made by Sapphire. They go back to anchoring, and it works out well.
30 seconds
Wide
left.
angle, Muffin is holding there with the op, but still, luckily for her, connects. Fullsense right now, just shutting down the initial attempt of RRQ. We saw that be the biggest problem for RRQ on Lotus, where they start losing picks on their initial execute attempt in the first place, and when that happens, RRQ do have a bit of a difficulty of pivoting and recovering from those type of rounds.
Yeah, RRQ. The adjustment has been made against them, and Baby TZ, here we go again. As soon as Sapphire wins a round, someone is willing to play aggression. So much confidence from the Sapphire roster. Alarm bot gets the tag, maybe notices what's going on, but Baby TZ, she's punished accordingly. A good spot by Ayumi. RRQ using those overlaying numbers to great success. A dash also, but it's still sticking around towards drop. Instead, wait for the Trailblazer, realize Paul is in position. Suddenly, a wild Alaka appears, and RRQ bursts through the floodgates. This is their site to take.
Yeah, great job done
Spike
here
planted.
by RRQ. You can tell that kind of tailwind dash by Ayumi, as she already had it queued, kind of made Paulie guess, like, what? Where is this coming? And will it come right now? Just the off timing on that push as well puts Fullsense into a confused state, and look, a perfect swing as well from that contact of A main. Now allows RRQ to get a 4th round, so already a much better half than anything we've seen from RRQ.
And look at the win condition for RRQ. They get the post plant, they get the job done. They're punishing Fullsense Sapphire for being too overeager, for playing a little too aggressive. And yes, Sapphire have some good trap setups that they're ready to go for a set play to begin the round and get the advantage. But RRQ, they're ready for those kind of angles, not just with the utility, but with the numbers too.
Well, all really started from the opening pick here. Baby TZ trying to get some free damage in, trying to get maybe a free kill. Should be fortunate enough to do so, but as Aluka once again swinging out on timing there. Baby TZ following on up. She taking the brunt of that damage, and Fullsense, I don't think they're going to be dissuaded from trying to go aggressive once more. You can see them already setting up for some sort of arcade peak, but to be main, that RRQ are more, yes,
Smoke's down.
intrigued by.
Yeah, they're very much so prepared for a single side of the map. And if they get confirmation that there's not going to be a push whatsoever, then they're going to try to utilize that to their advantage. Thing is, Fullsense still willing to go for more. We saw it on Lotus also. They love to get active map control just to limit the options and give themselves intel immediately if ever RRQ Kaguya is coming their way. The flash comes on in. Best ready with the Seekers as well. Searching for targets. Canteen looking to be exposed. And also towards the side, Ayumi. A stellar find onto Margot. This is a lot better from RRQ. Just cleaner takes with better utility.
Yeah, it was timed perfectly as well with the Seekers
showstopper
there, but Muffin, she seizes control back of that tower. Has to be wary of Napski, but takes her down with a quick shot.
Well, who needs to be wary when you are that sharp? Muffin ready yet again to find some answers here. The aftershock gonna be into play, but the orbital strike is the true solution from Fullsense. Muffin still holding, keeping RRQ contained. The paint shell's there. Alec has to go for the widest swing, but Jindy and Muffin do finish off the job. They contain Kaguya and they keep this lead going.
Yeah, that was all Muffin throughout that round there. Nicely done. The opening pick here. You get the trade in return. A few seconds later on Ayumi, showstopper to take it away. She knew she had an op, so it's gonna be difficult to fight up close. Nade and then falls back because she's just that darn disciplined. And Muffin, great way to get Fullsense back into a round after Ayumi started off pretty nicely.
Yeah, she's also a brilliant anchor player, truth be told. We've seen it when they're playing defense on Pearl. You saw it right now here on Tower. And Sapphire as a whole, double up is the answer. Baby TC has one, Muffin has the other. But the one that they're looking for here for RRQ has been made by Yumi. Ginny falls, and a bit of space for RRQ to work with. Smokes are out as well. Polly now with the Molly too to slow things down. And can Sapphire find opportunity? They're checking out Dish, but no one's there. Instead, RRQ ready to go for the split approach. The Prowler gets a connection though. Margot now knows they're coming. The guiding light, Polly can't see anything. And RRQ, they have the kills they need on the board. Muffin gets one sure. Baby TZ towards the corner, stunned up. It's a mindset, and Baby TZ, these kills are just absolutely incredible. She does it yet again. And my oh my, an MVP truly here for Fullsense.
Oh, baby! TZ! Way too easy for her! They didn't even check her! Right around the corner, gets the one. The second follow-up is really what made it here, and then the third on Aluka, the swing expecting Ayumi, and there's nothing they could have done to stop her from raining terror all around. Man, oh man, what a recovery here from Fullsense Sapphire. They are looking sublime, but our panel are looking even more spectacular.
Was that my mic? Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? I was I was so shook from that. It was almost a 7-5 bit ending 8 and 4 cooldown. How do we feel about the last round? I just gotta talk about it.
I guess it's just never forget who you're playing up against, right? It's Baby TZ. You miss one small corner, you miss her in that little smoke, and she'll make you pay for it. You know, they attacked her side multiple times, right? The 2 rounds that they actually started off with, right? They got those rounds because Baby TZ was a solo anchor towards the A side. Unfortunately, you know, Fullsense Sapphire weren't that successful on the retake when Baby TZ went down. But if you don't kill her, this is what happens.
Yeah, I mean 8 and 4. I keep thinking it was still 7 and 5 because it very nearly was, but 8 for this performance, like I feel like RRQ are showing a bit more than they did in map number 1. How do we feel about their chances for taking map 2?
Yeah, we see RRQ actually punishing Fullsense Sapphire for a couple of those overeager peaks, right? We saw them towards B main. I remember one of the rounds where they just stood and foot Fullsense Sapphire. They didn't really have a backup plan or where to fall back into, and RRQ actually steamrolled them, right? They committed with all of their players together, good flashes, good util to push and punish Fullsense Sapphire. And they need to continue that kind of philosophy into the next round or the next half if they're actually going to stand a chance, right? It's still a pretty, not the most ideal score, like 8-4, but it's still, better than what was on the first map. So we'll have to see.
Yep, I mean, home court advantage on Fracture for RRQ. If it's gonna be any map that they can take FS Sapphire down on, it's gotta be this one. Guys, over to you.
You still gotta shake off what happened there in that last round. Baby TC has been the MVP for the playoffs run so far every single map, and that's a big reason why, right? That's a big reason that you need to find their ASAP. But all in all, a better half there from RRQ Kaguya compared to the first map. We're seeing a bit more coordination. We're seeing them actually find those stellar openings thanks to the likes of Yumi, but it's still not enough. Sapphire in the lead. It's an 8-4 standing here, Black and Blue. They still need to recover right now.
I mean, how can you recover, right, when somebody like that on the opposing side just pops off? You see Baby TZ just absolutely have a field day with that type of round. Certainly a highlight you're going to be seeing all over the boards for quite a bit. But if you're RRQ right now, the same way that we've seen them be able to fire themselves up near the end of map number 1, that's what they have to start with here for the second half.
Yeah, guiding lights there, and here we go again. RRQ relatively successful in these pistol rounds, only losing 1 so far in the series. And that was on the first round of this map. They do get the orb though to begin with. Sapphire actually just standing still, playing some defaults, waiting at least for any kind of opportunity to punish Kaguya if they push.
Okay, light certainly confirms that there is presence there towards A main. It's going to keep the defense. So trying to be wary of a sudden push anytime, any moment. They're taking the ropes, slowly but surely, on the opposing side. Don't look down. Might be too terrifying. They might look to aggress towards Arcade instead.
Did you say it's too terrifying to look down?
Yeah, if you have a fear of heights.
Maybe fear of heights?
Rather falling.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. What are you more afraid of? The heights themselves or falling instead?
Those are two separate phobias.
Yeah, I know, but, well, maybe you have a phobia of rushing into the site. Sapphire, though,
30
needs
seconds
to
left.
at least conquer those fears and get their way towards B. Now Swarm, though, peppering them up. Jenny in a bad spot. Alaka with the kill, but here comes Polly! And Polly finds
Player
2!
standing.
Muffin also with a duplicate of her own. 2 kills for 2 kills. Snapsky burns down Margot, but beyond that, it's a 3v1. It's all left to Yubi now. She's been strong at the opening kills, but can she wrap things up against lesser HP targets? It's 1v3 though, and they're playing away. Sapphire right now over onto Arcade, 1 in tower. The strong suit of Muffin. And it seems like Ayumi will face off against Muffin first. Dash is prime. Muffin gets the incel. Dashing towards the site, the spike. She gets halfway though, at the very least. Can she stick it? No! Polly will be there to provide pressure. And the pistol will be won by Sapphire yet again.
Can't even connect the shot there. With Margot just buying so much aggro, so much attention towards that generator. They tried to take her down, rather Ginny here as well. And as they were trying to deal with the front line, Paulie just chimes on in. Muffin from all the way on tower connecting her shots as well. And RRQ just... It's so devastating to lose a pistol round now twice in a row after it being one of the only positive points you were able to find during map number 1.
Yes, Sapphire here. They have, again, the same kind of setup, but they have better guns this time around. And they're looking to see if RRQ will actually be a bit more proactive here on the second half. Might be something they've realized when they face off against each other at this stage, but Ayumi will be the one to fall first. Here comes Muffin, and goes she goes. Best will get that kill. The rest of Sapphire don't follow suit. Margot gets 2, and seems like Ginny will also get a double kill as well. So 2 kills for 2 kills, right? We're seeing that from Sapphire so far.
Hey, not bad, for sure. I mean, that's a trade-off you'll take any day. Especially when you're in an ego situation like this. RRQ doing some damage with certainly benefit them in the long run, but it's about how they recover and retaliate. Here coming in around 15, down 10-4. Similar case to what we saw a while ago, but this time maybe a bit more of a fighting chance if RRQ can take this round.
Yeah, but it's such a must-win scenario now for Kaguya. They lose this. Sapphire goes to 11. They go back onto the eco state. And baby TZ, will she get overrun? Expecting the forces of RRQ to come her way. Gets one for her troubles, but that's all she gets. Space domain. Because of that pinch, Sapphire can now move their way towards the site.
Here they come. Sapphire completely W-keying their way in. Margu good for the one. Alika taken down up close. Gives them now the Vandal to fight with.
Yeah, tower control taken. Iceberg here at least looking for an angle. But Sapphire have gotten the jump done. Moved it towards post plant. And here we go yet again. Pressure from two sides. The flash is there though. No Iceberg to rush on in. Margo with a prowler. It's perfect. Here goes Margo. Muffins there too. The M&Ms. Just get the crunch on. And Napski's the last one standing. 1v4. Well, it's gonna be difficult. And Margo will make it true. Sapphire now steals that one away. They won the bonus and they're in prime position to move on.
That was a perfect stun here from Ginny. Look at this fight. Obviously Margot, she wins this, but they're full line connecting right on time with a Prowler as well to follow on up. And that is where you can see that Fullsense are just so much more coordinated, and the communication there is absolutely on point. They call the fact that, hey, they're coming in through the tower, they're about to come in from the front of the site, and that just signals to Ginny, let me prepare my fault line for you guys to fight that choke.
Yeah, and just Sapphire prepared for any kind of opportunity. And not only that, they take those opportunities made by the likes of Baby TZ. She's been such a big threat. RRQ knows they need to focus our forces on her. But Sapphire, it's a squad, it's a unit that can move away. And this time around, it's a mirror of what's been the setup here, Black and Blue. But now, Sapphire take the north, and it's Baby TC all the way towards the south.
He's slowly crawling her way on the rope, slowly but surely. As RRQ have taken lots of space towards A main, it's the B site that, well, Fullsense seem to be more intrigued by. Never mind, double backing from the arcade, want to play no games. It's drop, and oh, that flash was perfect now on the guiding light. Now that they have no information on that drop position, the timing here could just be perfect for Fullsense if they get this opening pick too.
Yeah, Kaguya might be caught unaware. Best is trying to watch out for that angle. Sees the utility being set on up. Muffin flies high and makes her way towards the site. Best can't contest. She's playing towards Sand. The orbital strike's there though. And for now, at the very least, it's still Sapphire who gets the plant going. Pulse control though looking deadly. Kaguya, they have a chance to go for the pinch if ever. Napski now making her way towards the site. Best Ayumi on the board. This is what RRQ's been looking for. They have some firepower to contend, but Baby TZ still a threat. Baby TZ with the second! It's just too easy for Baby TZ! What a way to win again! Sapphire now on match points.
Crucial moments there with RRQ. And here's a problem too that I noticed from Bess, where she flashed there towards that drop, right? That means she has got one and the other one's on cooldown, and then she uses the second just to drop down into that Sans position, and it could have been used to clear, could have been used later on, but now it left her with just no utility to actually help the fight with. They had to rely on the single solo flash of Iceberg, which hasn't been the most effective so far, and Fullsense just had so much more to throw at, and also just incredible stuff, just winning the fights anyways, even when they're dry.
And now RRQ, do they contest this time around? Sapphire's waiting, they're getting ready, but the timing is better from Ayumi. The one instance that Ginny lets go, it's Ayumi who's able to pull the trigger. And this is what RRQ Kaguya has been looking for. Success in the firefight. And this will be them slaying RRQ, or rather Sapphire where they stand. A quick invasion towards the north, and it's RRQ again who survive.
At least the Guardians work out this time around. Great value out of that. They get the Vandals in return, and Ayumi, seemingly unassisted there, still wins those double peaks. Still wins those fights. They have to get themselves going one way or another, and that's one way to do it for sure.
I mean, catch them out, right? Make sure that they can't utilize that space. And it's such an interesting guessing game. Do they find a single target? Do they find the bulk with the spike? In that case, RRQ went for the 50-50 and got the right call along the way. Double up draft though, it's a call. Ayumi now getting a bit
Okay.
of verticality. But that's
Yeah.
Intel right now. So
Working
we'll
your
see the
hops.
you know, at least some elevation over there.
Yeah. It's some verticality.
Yee.
Miss
You can
the
type that
time.
down. Why don't you want to spell verticality?
VRTIKLAT. Why?
Why did
All
you
the way
actually
delete.
spell it? But contacts here and Muffin Iceberg with quick trades. It's Sapphire though who comes up ahead. They were prepared for it. They were ready. And this B side is theirs for the taking.
Makes you wonder why RRQ, why take the risk here?
Placing
Especially
smoke.
unguided there.
Spike
Rolling thunder. They want to end this right here, right now.
And here we have it, baby Teasy leading the charge! And one more time, one more show, it's
Attackers
Sapphire's
win.
victory here again. History repeats itself, and it's 2-0 for Fullsense Sapphire to move on even further in the upper brackets.
Not just a 2-0 Dax, a 4-0 in the recent history since Open 2. This RRQ squad still falters once more to Fullsense. It's gonna be a heartbreaker for loss for them. They thought they'd come into this open stage finally finding the proper solution, the concoction to this poison, but it doesn't come. Not here, not just yet. The lower bracket is what awaits RRQ for the meantime.
Look. Hello. Ring. Is this RRQ Kaguya? Because Sapphire has had their number ever since the end of last year. And it just continues. It just keeps on going because Sapphire keeps on getting better and better. Flashes there that RRQ can consent. We'd see it from Ayumi especially, that she wanted to be aggressive. She wanted to actually bring even a stronger front line to contest against Sapphire. And they would do that, especially during the first half. Catch out players like Baby Teasy, catch out players like Muffin, especially when they could, but more often than not, just the calls there from Sapphire, the trades, the teamwork, just so incredible from what we've seen. So Sapphire in the first one, moving on to the upper bracket finals. We'll see who they'll meet, if ever it's gonna be SMG, if it's ever gonna be Sight, but we're gonna be going towards our panel to at least catch up with what happened in that first series.
Thanks, guys. Fullsense completing that 2-0 to get into the upper final tomorrow. Yet again, tale as old as time. I think this is kind of what the team has come to expect. I think the team, as well as all of us here at the desk, the casters, just everyone watching, this is the performance that we're all starting to expect from Fullsense. And I think coming into the Open 3 upper final for tomorrow, right? This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see a team that can challenge SMG. We want to see another 5-game series, but I mean, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Let's break down this series number 1. How do we feel about Fullsense Sapphire's performance? What can we nitpick on, Coldan?
What can we nitpick on? I mean, the second half was almost entirely flawless. I mean, Fullsense Sapphire just was in the driver's seat the whole way through. Every single engagement that they took, right, it was all in their back pocket. And if you can bring up the scoreboard, right, I think it's gonna really illustrate that point perfectly. Just how Fullsense Sapphire really didn't have any issues whatsoever. Baby TZ, we've mentioned her name countless times, and we will still mention her again. Yeah, at the top of the scoreboard.
Hold up, yo. This, I mean, I want to say it's not right, but this is so right. I love this, man. I'm loving this MVP arc for this girl. 4 in a row, wow.
It's actually ridiculous, right? The consistency that she has at top fragging as a sentinel across both of their matches already.
Honorary
in
duelist
the playoffs.
right here.
Yeah. First kills though, 9-9, which is, honestly not bad for RRQ. It's just that they
Yeah.
aren't able to convert those rounds into actual wins, right? Those post plans and retakes was just slightly off, right? 1 or 2 missed utilities, and Fullsense made them pay for it dearly.
Yeah, 5-5, 4-5 is pretty impressive. I think the 9-9 for first kills. I think the Jet got 6 out of the 9 first kills as well, which is
Yep.
kind of exactly what you want your duelist to be dueling. But we will take a look once again at the MVP. It's been 4 games straight. I love this picture, man. I don't know. She's doing like the little finger hearts. She's got like those 4 fingers for those 4 MVPs that she's bagged in just 2 days of competition. I don't know how she's gone 4-4-4 at this point, especially when you look at how stacked her team is. Like, her team around her looks like that, and she's coming out with those 4
Yeah.
MVPs.
like she, it's not that she's solo carrying Fullsense Sapphire
Exactly.
at all, right? It's just that she's at the
Uh-huh.
top and everyone else is equally, if not, just all the, the sum of their parts is just greater. It's insane to see them have such consistency as well as, to see that kind of performance, that kind of level coming in from Baby TZ.
Yep, on the top right where she belongs. But guys, we got a special treat for y'all for the end of this first series. We have an interview with one of the members from Fullsense, and it's going to be none other than Ginny. Ginny, can you hear us?
Yes, can.
Oh my god, hi, it's so nice to
Hello.
see you. Congratulations on the victory. I mean, personally, I just feel like we see you a lot because, your team's one of the most winningest teams out there, and you may end up always doing the winner interview. But congrats on the 2-0 versus Kaguya today. I wanted to ask firstly, did you expect to go 2-0 versus Kaguya?
We just
We saw we saw some of like the trash talk that you had in the lobby before map 1 when you're like, oh, like this game is gonna be boring when y'all were trash talking each other.
no, it's not a trash talk. I just feel like we play against them so many times, like since Open 1. So I feel like, oh, RRQ again. But every time that we play with them, we never like how to say, we never expect to 0, but we just they are a good team, so we just keep focus on our play, going map by map. Yeah.
So I know that Fullsense as well as RRQ Kaguya, you're some of the closest teams off of the server when you're not competing with each other. I know both teams went to watch Ascension in Thailand and sat together and everything. Can you tell us more about like maybe that relationship and like the close friendship that you girls have?
We are very close to each other. Like they are really good friends, and when they come Thailand, we just bring them to go the night market or somewhere else, or even they come to our boot camp and we eat together, something like that.
That is so fun. Kolden, you got a question for him?
Yeah, Ginny, I was just really curious, right? Whenever we see the player cams of Fullsense Sapphire, you guys just have the calmest faces ever. Every time you guys win, it's just, oh, it's another day in the office, But what is going through your minds when y'all actually win? Is it just like another day in the office, or are you guys like super happy that you're on such a great win streak?
I think maybe because sometimes let's say if we leading so many rounds, right, and sometimes we happy too fast and we lose at the last. Yeah, so I just feel like, okay, just focus every round. Yeah, make sure we win first. Then after that we just like happy, yeah, like that. I just don't want to happy too fast.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the strict
wow.
IGLing coming out, I think, from Ginny. Our last question that I wanted to ask is, SMG are playing Cypher right now over on the other stream. If SMG win, you'll be playing them tomorrow in yet another upper bracket final. How do you think that will go?
It's just gonna be hard game again, but I think, I don't know, I just want to play my game. Let's play what we can do, what we practice, just do it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview and congrats once again on the 2-0 today and the 2-0 yesterday. Best of luck tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
The finger
It's a
hearts.
classic, the classic Baby TZ,
Yeah. They've got to make it like a team thing now. They've got to like when you do the esports poses, like the photographers are always like they got to give like each player a different pose. So they have to like one of them has to do like the sideways thing, and then another one's got to do like the hands or like the weird thing. Yeah. Like,
Okay.
hey, don't judge me. Judge the game. Why are you
Never seen
judging
that
me?
kind of hand
Hey.
pose. Never seen that before. But okay.
It's the crouching
teach
down
me.
with the like that one. Yeah. Learn to esports, man. Cool damn, jeez. I'm
Gotta
sorry,
get
but
with the times.
Yeah, come on. These boomer reactions, that ain't it. But guys, it was great to hear from Ginny. I mean, it was just an absolute treat, as always, to watch the Fullsense girls once again 2-0 in another series. So we will be seeing them in tomorrow's upper bracket final. But guys, we do have one more best of 3 series coming up later on. It's going to be GE Phoenix versus Deviant Topaz. You definitely want to catch this one. We'll see y'all in just a bit.
Where are we? One enemy remaining. Nade out.
Off your feet! Prepare for
Last player standing.
Off your feet!
Spike down A. One enemy remaining. Bring them down. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
God.